Hello, guys. So, we are going to continue our discussion with respect to Python. And in this video, we are going to discuss on variables. And the topics that we are going to cover today are introduction to variables, declaring and assigning variables, naming conventions, understanding variable types, type checking and conversion, dynamic typing, and many practical examples and common errors. So, what exactly is a variable? Variables are fundamental elements in programming used to store data that can be referenced and manipulated in a program. In Python, variables are created when you assign a value to them, and they do not need explicit declaration to reserve memory space. The declaration happens automatically when you assign a value to a variable. So I'll give you an example how simply we can assign a value to a variable. A is equal to 100. So this is nothing but I have assigned the value 100 to variable A. So I'll go ahead with some more examples of and I'll show you how to declare and assign variable. Okay, so consider the first variable to be age and I'm assigning the value as 25. Now let me create a variable called height and I'll assign the height as 5.5, and then I'll create another variable called name and will assign the value as Ipshita, and then another variable called each student and I'll assign the variable to be true. So this is a Boolean variable. Don't worry, we are going to cover all the data types in our upcoming videos. So now let me print these variables one after the other. Print. So see, there are many ways to display the data or display the value of a variable. Simply if I write the print statement, it will go ahead and print the value. But for making it more readable, more understandable, what we can do is I can just mention something like age, and then I will add a comma and then age. So if I go ahead and print this, so this will be my output age and then the value. Okay. Similarly, let me print the other variables also. Height, name, and then name, and then print a student. Okay. So let's see the output here. So let's see the output here. Age is displayed as 25. The variable height holds the value 5.5. Name is the name holds the value Ipshita, and student is printing true because it's a Boolean one. Now let's go ahead with the naming conventions. So there are some best practices. I'll just note it down here. Variable names should be descriptive. So it's possible that we can write a variable like a equals to 100, but that does not describe anything, doesn't give any information about what the variable a is and what the value 100 is. So variables like age, name, height, these are descriptive, right? Okay. The next best practice is um, they must start with a letter or an underscore, and they can contain letters, numbers, and underscores also. And the one that we discussed yesterday was variables are case sensitive. Now let me give you some examples of valid variable names. Okay, so I'll just have a variable called first name is equal to Shweta, and I'll create another variable called last name is equal to Patrick. Okay, if I run this, so I'll have to print, then I can run this. Print first name, print last name. When I go ahead and print this will show me the value of these variables. Okay, so these are some of the examples of valid variable names. Now let me give you some example of invalid variable names. Okay, so suppose I will start a variable with the number age is equal to 25. So when I run this is giving me an error, invalid decimal literal. So a variable name starting with a number is not allowed. Okay, so this is invalid. Let me give you another example of some invalid variable name. Suppose first hyphen name is equal to Ipshita. Okay, so if I run this will also give me an error. Cannot assign to expression here. Maybe you meant double equals to instead of equals to. So this hyphen is not allowed in variable names. Okay, let me comment this out. I'll give you another example of invalid variable names. That is, suppose name. Okay. So again, the same. This gives me a syntax error because a variable name cannot start with at the rate or any special character other than underscore. Okay. Now let's go ahead and understand case sensitivity in Python. So this one we have already discussed yesterday, but just for a recap, suppose name equals to I write Ipshita and the same variable but with uppercase N, that is camel casing. If I write some other name here, Vedika, and I print both the variables. Sorry. So let's see, it should be printing two different names here. Yeah, correct. So now let's understand the variable types. So Python is dynamically typed as discussed. So dynamically typed means variable's data type is determined at the runtime. Okay, now let me assign a variable age, height as suppose 5.5, name as Ikshita. Okay, the student as sorry, true. Okay, and now let me check the type of these variables. So if I do print of type of name, let me see what Python has defined the data type for this variable name. So it's string. Now let me check the type of the other variables such as height, type of height. So it should give float because this is a decimal value. That's why Python has defined it as float data type. Similarly, let me see the data type for is student. This is Boolean, okay, because it has been assigned the value as true. So true or false by default is assigned as a Boolean. And we are going to discuss more in detail about these data types in my upcoming videos. Now let's learn about type conversion. Type conversion. So can we change the data type of one variable to other? Let's check. Suppose I create a variable age and assign the value 25. Let me just see the type of age here. It should be int. Yes. So can I change the data type of this variable to string? Let's check that. Str is nothing but the string class, and I'm trying to assign the age variable to this class string, and we'll check the type now. Print age and then print type of, sorry, this should be age underscore str. So we have created one variable age underscore str where we are trying to change the data type of age from integer to string. I'm printing out the same variable now, and I'm just checking the data type of the age string. Okay. So first print statement, if you see, it gives the class as integer. Second print statement is just printing out the value after we converted the data type. It's 25 still. And then we are trying to print the new data type for the variable after we had the type conversion. So now it became string. I hope you're clear until this. Okay, let me create a variable age, which I'm storing the value as a string here. And I'm trying to have the type of age here. Okay. So it's giving me the data type as string. And if I convert it to int and then I check the type, it should display the output as int. Yes. See? Okay. Now tell me one thing. Can I change the data type of a string value to integer? Let's see. Name is equal to, suppose I write it Shita, and I am trying to do int of name. So will this change the data type or will it give an error? Just give a thought. But yeah, it will give an error because a string cannot be converted to integer because this is a proper word, a literal string literal. We cannot convert this to integer. Okay, now let's go to the next example. Suppose height is equal to 5.11 I'm giving here, and I'm trying to check the type of height here. So this is float as of now. If I try to convert this to int, will this work? Let's check. So yes, this 5.11 has been converted to integer. Now the value of height is 5. Can we again convert this back to float? Let's check. Okay. So now again we have converted this back to float, so 5.0. Now let's see what is dynamic typing. So Python allows the type of variable to change as the program executes. We'll see some examples for this dynamic typing. Var is equal to 10. Okay, so I'm assigned a value 10 to the variable var. I'm trying to print the variable and its type. Let's see. Okay, it gave me the output as 10 and the class is integer. Now what I'll do, I'll assign another value to this variable var and hello, and I'm trying to print this out. Var comma type of var. Let's see how it behaves. Okay. So in the second print statement, the variable got updated to hello and the class is string now. Now when I do var equals to suppose 3.14, print var, comma, type of var. Okay, so in the third case, it's saying 3.14 and it gave the class as float. Okay, now we'll learn about how do we get input from a user. Okay, so let me just type age is equal to input and I'm asking what is your age. Okay, and I'll be printing age, comma, type of age. So if I run this command, okay, you see the box here at the top? It's asking what is your age. So as soon as I enter a number here or age here, it will print the value along with the type. So give it a pause. Suppose if I enter the number 23 here, the age 23. So according to you, what should be the type? Just give it a pause and think. And you can add your comments here with your answers. And once I execute this, just check it out if your guess was correct or not. Okay. So Python by default, when a user gives an input, by default it takes as string. Okay. So if I want to convert this to integer, what I'll have to do is I can just convert this input to integer class here. And now when I run this, we'll have to see here, see, now the class is integer. Okay, I hope this was clear to you. Now let's go ahead and build a simple project. I'll call a simple calculator. Okay, so here we are going to cover some of the operators, but don't worry. For operators also, I'll be uploading a detailed video on the different types of operators and their uses. Okay, I'm creating a variable called num1 and I'm assigning it as float and then input, enter first number. Okay, so I'm asking user to give the first number and I'm creating another variable num2 and again I'm going to ask the user input to enter the second number. Okay, so below I'll be writing some of the Python operators. Sum, first I'll be doing sum. So sum equals to num1 plus num2. Okay. Difference, I'll be writing num1 minus num2. And then product, I'll be writing num1 multiplied by num2. And then quotient is equal to num1 divided by num2. And then let us print the value of all these variables. Sum, comma, sum. Similarly, I'll be printing the difference, comma, difference. Then I'll be printing the product. Let me print out the last variable now. Okay, so this was our simple calculator. If I run this, it should be asking me two different inputs. Let us see that. So suppose the first number is 10. Now it's asking me the second number. See on the top. Suppose I give the second number as 5. Let's see the output now. So sum it gave us 15 because I have my first number was 10 and the second number was 5. So the sum is 15, difference is 5, product is 50 and quotient is 2. So this was it, and I hope you are clear and confident on variables now. In my next video, I'm going to discuss about data types and then operators. See you in the next video.